Hi, it's Gil from Birkeland Gardens. Today is the day that our online sale is happening. So we have a lot of great plants that we're going to be showing. There'll be more to come. So this is just the start. I'll just mention this is part of the Woodland Gems collection. So they're plants that were selected specifically, and they're just really cool, unusual, well-developed plants. But first, we're going to just go over how the sale is going to work. So you're going to find all of our plants on our website, and that's www.birkelandgardens.com. And so you can go there, and you'll find our plants for sale on the availability there. You know, as we're recording this, we're going to have about 29 varieties available. There'll be 3 to 5 plants per variety. Be sure to order these right away. I think, you know, they may, especially the popular ones, are going to go right away. I find that these are all really good plants, though. So photos, you'll notice that not every plant is going to have a photo for every variety that we have. If you could refer to the videos that we've done, or this one and the previous one, you'll be able to get that visual, you know, of the plant and what it looks like, and a description that we talked about. Descriptions will also be on our website. So the ship dates, this is a pre-order, and we're going to have to wait till the temperature warms up a little bit, you know, and you'll get a confirmation that we have your order, we're setting your plant aside, and then we'll notify you again when the plant is shipped, and you'll get a tracking number for that as well. We're going to start shipping these right around March 30th, maybe the first week in April, and if you have special instructions that maybe it's still too cold for you, too frozen, let us know that, and I think we can accommodate all of those. And then moving on to shipping, we're going to use UPS ground. I've found that these plants do really well for a period of time that, you know, in transit, UPS ground. But if you're, especially this time of year where it's cool and your plants will have plenty of moisture in them to, you know, hold them over, they don't mind being in that dark atmosphere for that period of time that they're being shipped. Probably in Washington State, 2 to 3 days. East Coast, maybe 5 days shipping time. And again, we're going to be shipping right around March 30th. So if you have any other questions, you can email me through our website. And, you know, I'm happy to answer those questions. And, you know, things might get a little hectic and I might get a little behind, but, you know, you can attempt to do that. From here, we're going to move on to sharing our next video that we filmed a few days ago, featuring some of the plants we have available in the sale. Continuing on from our last video, we're just going to be going through the conifers that I picked up in Oregon from Western Evergreen down in Silverton, Oregon. Just, you know, one of the best growers in the country for conifers. So in my opinion, anyway. So we will start with a Norway spruce, Picea abies, called Gold Drift. This plant was hybridized by Bob Fincham, who is an author and speaker, and was a teacher, and just, you know, has really advanced the conifer world in our country and in our area. So Bob did a lot of hybridizing with these Norway spruces, and this one, Gold Drift, is just a really nice one. It'll do, it's like the weeping Norway spruce, and it'll grow up. You stake it up to get some height, and then it weeps over. And usually you're staking it 3 or 4 feet. You can let it just stake it a couple feet. So whatever you want, you can try staking it higher. Usually once you get to 6 feet, it's really hard to keep it staked. They start getting heavy in that, but certainly it can be done, and you can get it quite high, and it can weep over. So just a great plant, great color. The next plant we're going to talk about is a Korean fir, Abies koreana, icebreaker. You're familiar with that one, or most of you are, and with silver underside needles that curl and show that nice silver light color in contrast with the green. It's a tree that this one already establishing a leader, even at 1 gallon size. And if you want to keep it flat, you can cut that out, or even cut it a little bit lower down where my fingers are now. Or I actually like to let them grow a little bit taller. They never get really tall until they get to be maybe 30 or 40 years old, but the ones that are 20 years old usually only a couple feet tall, 2 or 3 feet tall at the most. So icebreaker, always a popular plant, always sells out. So our next plant is green penguin. I'll grab this one, doesn't have a sign in it. I always talk about this one because it's like one of my favorite plants, and what makes it that is that it has the color is outstanding, dark green, but it also contrasts with a lighter green with a shorter needle. So you have two different lengths of needle, and they contrast with each other with size and color. And then the growth habit is narrow and tight and grows slowly. And of course, I know the history of it, where it was found in a nursery in a seedling selection, and then the Jim and Jenny who brought it to the trade. Just a really great plant. And another plant that's very similar to it as far as growth habit is Moseri. It has those same needles, but it's gold in the wintertime, so you get this bright gold color, and it's just outstanding. You get that contrasting shorter needles, longer needles, and it is essentially the same growth habit as green penguin. It may be a little more globose in some situations, meaning a little more shrub-like instead of the upright, but you would expect it to be very, very, very close. The next plant on our list is Pinus mugo, winter gold. Obviously, a plant that stays fairly short. It'll grow up. They take pruning very, very well. So if it gets larger than you want, you can. These can even take shearing, which is, I don't recommend that all the time, but mugos, you can do that with them, and they can handle that. But lots of buds. The color, I found that some of the Carson's winter gold, and I can't tell you why, but some of them are a little more dull in color, but these, you can see how bright these are. The ones that Jason down at Western Evergreen produces I've always found them to be consistently high quality, really bright yellow, rivaling plants like Chief Joseph, or other golden plants that are really, really bright. So fits that small landscape and easily controllable. It's just always a great selection to have that in your landscape. And then we're going to look at another tree, which is an eastern white pine, Pinus strobus, called Mini Twist. This is always a popular plant. I sell out of this one all the time, so I bought a few extras. And Mini Twist is going to be shrub-like, and so upright. You could even get to possibly 3 or 4 feet. It takes pruning well. I wouldn't shear it necessarily, but you could. But if you shear it, then you're going to get some browning on the tips of the needles, especially depending on what time of year you do that. But the twisting of the needles, the white underside of the needle, it's almost everyone that sees it really likes it, and when they see it, they have to take one home. So again, a very, very popular plant. Like it a lot. The white pine is always so soft, very touchable, so not pokey at all. Here's a Korean for Pinus coriensis, rowe, R-O-W-E. Again, you can see the prominent white underside of the needle, nice bluish green tint to that same needle. This one, not real familiar with it, but this will be you can tell it's going to be a pretty good sized tree. It's not a tree that you consider just a small dwarf, slow growing, but it can be at least an intermediate tree. So, but the color outstanding, would prune well. You could keep it nice and dense with that type of pruning, or it's going to have a sort of a natural dense habit anyway. And then it's a white spruce called Picea glauca cilia, and it has this kind of a gray, bluish tone to it, which I really like about this type of spruce with that color. And it's just going to be not upright, but you can see the different branches are going to want to go upright, and it's going to create that mounding effect, and just something that like this landscape just adds another contrasting color to your color palette in the garden. This one's called Blue Sparkler, and it's a nice dense shrubby-like plant that will become like a large shrub eventually. And again, the color really outstanding as far as the blue color during the year. And I didn't mention it before, but larches, all have that golden yellow in the fall, which is, people love. And then it has winter interest, even though it doesn't have needles. The branching is really, really nice and dense. I hope this, gets you either some new plants in your garden or get you started on the adventure of collecting conifers or just having them in your garden. Just start out with a few and you become like me, have many, many, many. So maybe too many. No, you can't have too many. So anyway, again, if you have questions about the sale, you can listen to the beginning of the video. And also, we have all the details listed on our website. And I hope you can find something new and exciting for your collection. I think conifer collecting is something that's very worthwhile. If you're just starting or if you've been doing it for a while, it just, you can build on your collection or you can get a collection going. Just having a number of conifers. My friends and I that collect conifers, we call it an addiction, but it's a good addiction. So I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.